Whoa. Forgot the intro. Gotta get that intro. Gotta get that. What is going on, Wisconsin, Michigan, all the fine states around us that tune into the show? Thank you for stopping out on this wonderful Monday evening. Heath is in the house. Appreciate you big time. As always, my man. Randy's in the house. Much love, guys. Really do appreciate it. Jill, I don't know what I'd do without you guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, starting this thing up, it sounds weird, maybe, but like if I don't have people to interact with, it's just so weird. It's like sitting here, it's quiet around me. All I hear is me. So I do really appreciate you guys sticking with me through this. Again, it's getting the word out there. Unfortunately, right now, it's a lot of what's going on around us as our state is out of session. But it's going to take all of us sticking together and keep getting the awareness out there. So appreciate you guys very much for being supporters for such a long time and hopping out here night in and night out. It means a lot to me. I really do appreciate it, guys. Shout out to the folks in Pewaukee. Had fun out there this weekend. Okay, Jill, send me a message. I will remember to log into my personal account after this. I got you. Before I get into the recap, though, I should start with the sponsors. Shout out to Higher Love, our main partner of the show. Much praise to them and being a part of this, and then also the products they offer is also a much added benefit. Make sure you check them out if you head up to the UP. Let them know where you heard about them. Check out the promo code above, Love Podcast 15. Get you 15% off your purchase. That's one-time use, but it definitely hooks it up. Load up. It's worth it. So, and then if you're looking for a product in Wisconsin, some hemp illegal Wisconsin products, we got Ignite Dispensary. They're going to be located across the state in Milwaukee, Spooner, Hayward, Superior, Manitowoc, New Richmond. Highly recommend checking out their drink lineup. It is insane. They carry a lot of other brands out there, not just their own as well. So you can kind of try a few and figure out what works best for you. But it's really cool. We got Danny in the house. What's going on, boys, girls, everybody? Appreciate it. Much love. But no, quick recap. Had a lot of fun out in Pewaukee with Pete and Green Swan Hemp this past weekend. My wife, Miss Beans, was able to make it out there. Jesus says Spooner blows. Had a lot of fun down in Pewaukee. Got there. The power was out, but Pete, we held it down. It was a little muggy. It was raining. We got it done. We did it. We got Danny in the house. We got Mark. Appreciate you guys swinging by. Events coming up. I know we got Vibing in the Pines. That's a little ways out. I feel like there's something sooner than that. I'll have to check it out. It's been another crazy couple of days, but trying to keep making that noise. And don't forget to mark your calendar. September 29th. That's the March to the Capitol. Do not forget that. Hopefully our child comes into this world off the due date, which is the 29th of September. But either way, we'll figure it out. We're going to be making noise. It's going to happen either way. It's been happening for a few years with the folks down at Hemp Fest. Looking forward to that. Danny in the house. Danny in the house. Get it, boy. What's up, Danny, man? So yeah, that was just a recap from our latest event. I'm sure we'll have some stuff coming up in the pipeline, so keep an eye out. Always looking to catch what's going on out there. So if you guys know of any events, please have them reach out. We're more than happy to share their happenings and to try to promote whatever's going on out there. It's all about helping each other out here in Wisconsin. So let's see what we've got cooking. We've got a few things going. Let's see. Mainly going to be stuff around us, because that's how it works when your state is shut down as far as politics go. We've got a few things I want to touch base on. Let's get this pulled up. Hit the present button. Hopefully no one saw, but I'm sure you did. I accidentally started the show a little early today without the video. That was funny. So if you didn't catch that, rewind it at the end. I'm a putz. All right. So we got, God, why does it always default to the one where you can't even see me? There you go. We got a few things going on out there in the states around the U.S. get this pulled up here. We got Massachusetts governor says marijuana oversight agency is in crisis and needs a different direction. So most states have something similar to this MOA. Usually there can be different wording, but same thing. There's like an agency that enforces the cannabis laws, oversight of cannabis sales, regulation, that kind of thing. And obviously in the U.S., where it is not, the federal government is not involved, it's up to the states. You're going to have a lot of different views as you look across the states. So first time in a while I've heard of a governor saying that an agency is in crisis. That'd be a little interesting to see what that entails. Looks like we've got the governor. This is an article from Marijuana Moment. Looks like the governor on Monday said the state's Cannabis Control Commission needs to move in a different direction, but declined to take a stance on whether the state agency tasked with overseeing the marijuana industry should be sent into receivership. Interesting. Got on here. The state inspector general sent a letter last week to the governor and legislative leaders saying his office's review of the commission indicated an urgent need for authorization of a receiver who can manage the agency's day-to-day operations. They don't have someone who does that? That's interesting. His letter also said that the law governing the agency should be fixed to lay out clear lines of leadership. That would make sense. Tom McDonald, Me versus You. I will check that out. He is a lyricist, that is for sure. Tom McDonald. The agency, which somewhat modeled after the commission overseeing casinos in Massachusetts. That sounds like a terrible start to an idea to begin with. The attorney general and the treasurer. So there's 5 commissioners who are appointed by the governor, the attorney general, and the treasurer. Looks like the treasurer, who designates the chair, suspended this Shannon O'Brien last year, leading to drama over acting chairs and executive directors of the agency. Yeah, that would be to be expected. I'll be open to talking to legislative leadership with the treasurer, with others on the best step going forward. She's telling reporters on Monday after the unrelated event in Boston's Bay Village neighborhood. I know there's been a lot of talks. There's a few other states that when it comes to their oversight, they go to the alcohol committees of the state, which again, that sounds, I don't know. I feel like you need to accept the fact that this is a whole new ballgame. This is not alcohol. This is not gambling. This isn't casinos. Michael, what's going on, man? We're touching base on a couple topics across the U.S., obviously with Wisconsin's political leaders being out of session. Not too much that we found over the weekend popping off in Wisconsin. Right now, though, we're touching on Massachusetts and their board out there. Looks like I think what's problematic right now is the operation. I just look at it right now. It's not working. I mean, that's been clear. Many areas of concern. Wow, there's a lot of people out here in Massachusetts. Looks like they're interviewing some constituents and lots of concerns out there. We're limited to appointing one commissioner and jointly appointing 2 others. We recognize the need to address those concerns. We have a very important mission. Yeah. And an agency now staffed with, so they got 15,000 industry employees out there. And it sounds like the committee is not holding up their end of the deal as far as keeping things reasonably moving forward. So again, just something to keep an eye on. We're going to need something like this in Wisconsin. And I just hope it doesn't turn into, especially like not knocking any other, I don't know how well anything else is run as far as like Tavern League, Farm League, that kind of stuff, Casino League. But there just needs to be a whole new approach when you bring cannabis into things. It is not like anything else, as we know. So something to keep an eye on as we move forward and see what happens. Chase says, I'm out in the great state of Washington visiting friends and family. God, does it feel amazing sitting on my brother's deck with zero thought of being arrested? Yeah, that's an awesome feeling. Thankfully, we get to experience that in our neighboring states. But yeah, it's silly that we got to deal with that here. But enjoy your time out there. Enjoy some time with the family. That's awesome to hear. It's one of the beautiful parts of summer is trying to get them trips in to visit those relatives across the U.S. Dabs up, cares down. Come on, Wisconsin, let's get it together. Yes, 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 yes. Love it. All right, moving on to the next topic. We got medical marijuana could be on Nebraska's ballot if advocates can get 30,000 more signatures. Shout out to the advocates out there in Nebraska. Um, Looks like they are lucky enough to have the option to have a ballot initiative, which makes sense to me. But we're in Wisconsin where there isn't that, which doesn't make sense to me. This article is from USA Today. We've got Nebraskans might find medical marijuana legalization on the ballot in November as a petition effort to put the issue in front of voters is nearing completion, but it still has some hurdles to overcome. So they're just touching base on how medical cannabis is legal in 38 states, pretty much everywhere but Wisconsin. And the Cornhusker state is making the third attempt to legalize it. They had two other efforts that didn't quite make it. With less than a month left, the Nebraskans for Medical Marijuana Group, ooh, I like that. Nebraskans for Medical Marijuana Group is sounding alarm bells as they need 30,000 more signatures to qualify for November's ballot. According to their campaign manager, Krista Eggers, says despite the distance they have to go, there is a broad support for the effort across the state. She also has a personal connection as her 9-year-old son has epilepsy and severe seizures, which medical cannabis could help treat. They were interviewing her here. She says, I think voters are very frustrated and fed up. This isn't a political campaign. This is literally a group of advocates and patients, caregivers, people with very sick children and sick family members. They are the ones running this. That is awesome. I mean, it sucks that we have to fight so hard to get our voices heard, but kudos to these folks for stepping up to the plate and putting this initiative together out there. Looks like they are currently gathering signatures for two initiatives that aim to decriminalize and regulate the distribution of cannabis. One initiative would protect doctors who recommend cannabis for medical treatment. In contrast, the second one aims to establish a system for regulating the production and distribution of cannabis in the state. Wanted to see if they had, I'm going to assume they didn't get really into the fine details here. 47 other states in the nation have successfully implemented medical cannabis programs so that sick patients are able to have access with a doctor's guidance and recommendation. State elected officials have failed to do this. I know the feeling. The people of the state support this, and so it's well past time to do this. It looks like they came close in 2020, but the state Supreme Court struck it down because it violated a state rule requiring ballot referendums to be single questions, and theirs included two. Gotcha. And then the second attempt in 2022 fell flat after they failed to gather enough signatures. Interesting. So looks like they're putting up a good fight. 30,000 a month. That sounds like a lot, but man, I feel like if in Wisconsin, if we legitimately knew we had a chance at legalization on the ballot, if we just collected signatures, I think everybody and their brother would sign it. So more power to them. Hopefully that works out. And hopefully that gets moving. Vibin in the Pine says that's crazy awesome. Nebraska has traditionally been one of the scariest states to drive through coming from out west. Felt that, man. Kind of out there on an island, as you might say. Says here it shows that even the most reluctant states are coming around to the idea that cannabis is not only not a very dangerous drug, but it also has significant benefits for a whole range of medical conditions, both regarding physical health and mental health. 100%. So we'll keep our eyes out. We'll send them some love, send them some support, lift their spirits, get them moving out there. Sounds like they got a good team. Looks like they got a team of like 10 or so people. So hopefully they can hit that effort and get that moving forward. So we'll keep an eye on that as we look at other states that are potentially and most likely going to legalize before your state, the dairy state of Wisconsin. Ohio. I saw some news about Ohio. Let me get to that here. I think they were looking at opening shops this week now. Imminent launch of adult use sales. So that'll be going live anytime now. And if I remember correctly, that was going to be, they're starting with medical shops are going to be the first rec stores. So we'll see how that goes, but they are definitely moving along as well. I saw a couple articles about possibly this week yet. Some of that opening, so we'll keep an eye on it, see what happens. This one we have. Oh, what did I click now? Louisiana governor signs bill to decriminalize. Where did that go? I had it. There we go. Louisiana governor signs bill to decriminalize marijuana paraphernalia and regulate hemp products. This one would be interesting to see. The old state of Louisiana. I don't know what their state slogan is. Anybody know that? State slogan of Louisiana. I'm going to Google it, see if any of you guys know. State slogan of Indiana or Louisiana. What the fuck? Louisiana. Union, justice, and confidence. Louisiana. All right, let's go. The Republican governor of Louisiana has signed bills to decriminalize paraphernalia. Chew says Joe Biden. Oh, here we go. Chew must be smoking over there. Again, much love to Joe. If his what he is working on with rescheduling or decrim, this, that, the other, if it's not a political ploy. Unfortunately, with the old United States, that's typically how things seem to go. Come election year, we do a lot of we try to do a lot of things, but then some reason it drags out, and then after the election, it doesn't come through. But guess what? Vote for us again in 4 years. Doesn't matter who's in office. It is annoying as hell. The Republican governor of Louisiana has signed bills. Looks like they've got the final approval to the paraphernalia decriminalization. He signed off on legislation to enact regulations for hemp products as well. As introduced, the bill would have imposed an outright ban, but it was amended to instead tighten regulations, including by lowering the amount of THC that can be in consumable hemp products and prevent them from being sold at gas stations. Let's go. Yes, no gas station should be selling this stuff, folks. It's just scary to me that is how it is. But apparently in Wisconsin, they don't care because they're not doing a damn thing about it. The decriminalization law, meanwhile, will limit the penalty for the possession, sale, and use of paraphernalia to a $100 fine, in line with an existing policy that already decriminalizes possession of cannabis itself. Let's go. Under existing law, marijuana paraphernalia carries a penalty of up to $300 and 15 days behind bars on the first offense, which increases on later offenses. Holy shnikes. All right. So, yeah, it looks like the governor was excited to get this bill passed, which is awesome, coming from a Republican. Javin's in the house. What's up, my man? Thank you for swinging by. This common sense bill reduces the penalties and fines for possessions of paraphernalia. It's a step forward in our efforts for fair and sensible legislation. Please come to Wisconsin. Please send that message to Wisconsin. We need people like you. Hopefully it's legit, and hopefully it's not. They're just getting paid off by somebody. But regardless, they're moving forward, and things are happening. Speaking of which, again, when it comes to politics, we accept all. We support some on both sides. It is a very sticky situation. However, I am very much looking forward to the presidential debate later this week, only because the whole world gets to see the two people we have running for president who are rather old and seemingly forgetful and seemingly, I just still can't believe it's the best choices we got. Anyways, our two presidential candidates are going to have this debate, and somehow I can't believe they both agreed to this, that they're not going to have any prompters, and they can't bring notes up with them. They can bring an empty notebook. So not written on notebook. Obviously, there's sheets of paper, folks. Come on now. They bring a notebook, a pen, and a bottle of water. And these two are going to be debating. And then when the one talks, the other one's going to be muted when their time is like. This could be the biggest shit show you ever saw, folks. It'll be interesting. Politics baffled me a lot. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I think that was on the 27th. So it'll be something, folks. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of YouTube clips from that. Oh, Biden and Trump up there just, oh, man. It's just crazy to me. I feel like most of you in here would probably make a better candidate because you actually care about people. You know what I mean? Like, it just, ugh, politics. I hate politics. Um, Moving on over here with the Louisiana governor. Looks like this all goes into effect on August 1st. Penalties and fines will not be more than the penalties nor fines for the possession of less than 14 grams. Let's continue moving forward and chasing these equitable laws for all. Let's go. That's awesome. Last year, they signed into law a measure that was designed to streamline expungence as well. So these folks have been on top of it here for a minute. You've been on top of it for a minute. Why is MK Milwaukee horrible, right? I don't know, man. I don't know how we get these two knuckleheads. So you're saying they'll have earbuds in and have someone telling them what to say, right? I honestly hope so, because those two, I mean, if you legit just took those two and had them actually have a debate, I don't even know, man. I don't know. It just really is baffling when you really think about it. Now that's what we got. The best we got too. You know, it's not like they just. I don't know where they come up with their polls or deciding factors for president, but I would think it's a pretty. I just doesn't make any sense that those are the two guys that we got. I need to quit talking about it because I could be pissed about it all day, and there's not much we can do about it at this point. So we'll let those two have their fun and see what shakes out. Danny for president. Hey, man, got my vote. Any of you got my vote over them two. It's all a big game, man. It's the only thing I can figure out. So yeah, shout out to Louisiana, moving along faster and quicker in the cannabis realm of. This seems pretty old school to me. But they're further along than us, so it is what it is. We'll keep an eye on things out there, but shout out to them for moving forward with getting some people freed up and some more common sense in some cannabis laws, I guess is the biggest way to put that. Andy says, I've got a gentleman near Whitewater, a patient. Who's near? Oop, what you mean, bud? Gentleman near Whitewater, a patient? Like you're looking for what? I'm not sure what he's looking for there. A patient. Oh, I think I got you. All right, moving along. We've got. Oh, what the heck? This is the wrong. We got something mixed up here. Hold up. Or wait, was I already on the right screen? Hang on now. Too much weed. Here we go. Too much weed. There's something you don't hear in Wisconsin. Why is it low there? Too much weed. Amid cannabis crackdown, New York City sheriffs are stowing seized pot anywhere they can. Oh, I got you, Andy. We have a protest on the 29th as the march to the Capitol, the day after the Great Midwest Hemp Fest down in Madison. That's really our scheduled petition, if you will. We do have a petition. You can find it on our site. You can find it on the page. Just make sure you follow along, and we're trying to figure this thing out. It's just grassroots, just us, the people. We're not paid for or part of either any political party or anything. So definitely stay in tune, Andy. We're looking for folks like yourself. So city deputy sheriffs have seized so much cannabis from unlicensed pot shops amid a crackdown that the agency's office have become a weed wonderland with pot stowed in every nook and cranny they can find. The New York Daily News has learned. They could send some this way, man. We'll help out with that. When the sheriff office was tasked with raiding illegal weed shops, the cannabis they removed was initially stored in six 20-foot shipping containers with poor ventilation inside an indoor parking garage at the agency's Long Island City offices on Star Avenue. But deputies quickly realized that they were collecting more marijuana products than they had space for. Oh, we're seizing more than the space we had, so we started putting it in different offices. The president of the Sheriff's Association said. Then they started putting them in vehicles. So much weed had been collected that deputy sheriffs responsible for vouchering the evidence from the weed raids were being inundated by the smell, and some even getting sick, union officials said. The smell of weed made them sick. I call bullshit. Unless it's some funky funk. The crackdown on unlicensed pot shops across New York has been an effort to stem an explosion following the decriminalization of recreational marijuana for adults in 2021, which is talking about how when they passed that, it created a huge gray zone, and they began opening hundreds of brick and mortar stores with reckless abandon. As a result, there's only 57 licensed dispensaries in the 5 boroughs. In comparison, there are roughly 2,900 illegal pot shops. Jeez. Questions over the improper storage of seized cannabis surfaced early in December, about 6 months after the mayor appointed retired NYPD sergeant as the new city sheriff. I want to know what they're storing, how they're storing it in cars. Interesting. They got too much weed. This guy here says, it was getting to the point that my clothes were smelling like marijuana. It smelled like I smoked weed all the time. My sweat was starting to smell like marijuana. What the fuck? Oh, man. These were deputy sheriffs complaining that they were overwhelmed by the smell. Requests for better ventilation when ignored. Then the deputy sheriff started getting ill. So it probably was humidity. Oh, that's what Jam just said. It can go moldy if the humidity is high, and that would smell. Yeah, that makes sense. Looks like they tried reaching out, but they didn't hear anything back. But it says they are doing the best they can and look forward to finding a solution in the near future. Interesting. Too much weed out there in NYC. So if you're looking, if you need a hookup, head to the East Coast, man. They got to get rid of it. That'd be a good initiative. You know how like you can drop your pills off sometimes, which I think is a good idea, right? Like your expired pills, all that. But it would be super dope if the police just are like, hey, we got too much weed. We don't know what to do with it. Here you guys go. That'd be pretty cool. Just saying. Send that idea to your friends in the police force. And this is the last article we have for today. Youth see Reddit as a viable outlet for marijuana info, but posts often have lack of verifiable facts, study finds. That is probably because there is no... You guys make it so hard to access any kind of information about cannabis. So even myself, when I was in the hemp industry and there was a new cannabinoid or something that was coming out, I often use Reddit as well. You do have to take everything with a grain of salt because nothing is... there's not like a comment and then it says this was verified by 5 different sources to be true, right? Like it's just like us here sharing what we know. But I wanted to see what this article entailed because it just sounds interesting. They clickbaited me, man. I'm in. Let me hear it. Excuse me, real quick though, we'll check on Andy's comment. Andy says, after passing law here, police still harass sick, disabled, and dying people. It's ongoing for a while after legalization for medical. You must stay diligent. As one of the first that had my herb return, diligence is everything. Hey, man, that's awesome. Kudos to you for fighting that fight as well and standing your ground. We're here 10 toes to the ground. So, but again, we're just... it's not like we are, we're not part of normal. We're not a part of any other organization. Just trying to get the common sense and bring the education that I have with cannabis, that the fine folks of Wisconsin have about cannabis, and try to talk some common sense into our elected officials is basically our main goal here at Let's Legalize Wisconsin. So getting back to this article, a new study examining a Reddit community aimed at providing young people with information about cannabis finds that although responses to posts were generally thorough and responsive, nearly all come from opinions and personal experiences rather than reliable sources. Again, there's a lack of reliable sources because everything is so complicated around cannabis. Well, youth seem increasingly to be turning to online platforms like Reddit to answer questions about marijuana, researchers said. There's a lack of verifiable information being exchanged. Yep, because you guys make it hard to talk about it on any other social media. So yeah, that's how that's going to work. And inadvertently worsen the efforts to reduce cannabis harm. But the shortcoming may reveal an opportunity. Authors of the study, published in the journal PLOS 1 this month, interventions, including potentially on Reddit itself, that provide understandable and accurate information in accessible formats may increase young people's ability to access and practice harm reduction. Reddit's Reddit's largest cannabis community, Trees, the subreddit Trees, is intended for adults 18 and older. Its third rule is no minors. For years, some members of the community have instead directed younger Redditors to the subreddit Saplings, a subreddit that described itself as a place to learn about cannabis use and culture. The moderator's pinned post from 8 months ago emphasizes that the community is meant for all ages, and emphasizes that they does not mean we support underage smokers, for people who get helpful and accurate advice regardless of age. Interesting. Looks like they had researchers from the University or UT Health Houston School of Public Health. What's up, Jay? Thanks for swinging by, man. Much love, much love. And here's what they found. Our findings suggest that young people view Reddit as a viable outlet for conversations about cannabis, they wrote. I agree with that a lot. Noting that during their year-long study period, which began before the COVID-19 pandemic and went through October 2020, both posts and comments increased. That increase, the study says, suggests Reddit may play an increasingly important role in youth socialization related to cannabis. It notes that when the study began, they had 53,000 members, and it grew to 62,000 only a couple months later. And today, the group's membership is up to 96. I wanted to see if they actually fact checked any of these, or where were they coming? Oh, here we go. Researchers looked at 213 randomly selected posts and 2,546 comments across 4 time periods: before the pandemic, when lockdown was in place, as lockdown guidelines lifted, and as students returned to school the next fall. They observed that over the course of the early months of the pandemic, the type of information thought on the subreddit changed. Areas such as places to acquire and future use were most commonly early on, with posts around strain selection, how users obtain cannabis, and how to grow the plant. But later during the study period, the theme of consequences, and the topic of tolerance became more prominent, with more questions like, is using a plastic bottle bong unsafe? Yep. Any reason I'm getting way higher than normal with the usual weed or amount? Users were responsive to posts. On average, posts received 12 comments, with one garnering 200 and only 11% receiving no responses. Moreover, the community seemed to have good intentions. Definitely recommend, if you haven't checked out the subreddit Trees. I do go there. Again, it's not, it's just open. It's like a Wikipedia. Nothing is super verified, or, anybody could put anything. But especially for just talking to fellow consumers, that kind of thing, take an open approach. Try to fact check what you find if your answers questions or that kind of thing. But I do recommend checking out Trees on Reddit. I'm in there quite a bit, and I find a lot of good bits of information. I've learned quite a bit from there, actually. Just thinking of that now. So again, that was the subreddit Trees, like the tall things that have leaves, trees. But no, that's all we got for tonight's show, folks. Appreciate everybody swinging out. Again, it does mean a lot. It's keeping me sane that you guys stop in here. I know we get a lot of people that watch after we're live, but I really do appreciate all you guys and gals who stop in and keep me sane. It means a lot. We're trying to continue to this reach. We just hit 30,000 members on Facebook. I didn't think that would ever be a thing. That's just, I really do appreciate you guys, and we got to keep this fight up. I know it seems like it's been a little stalled or whatever, but it's the politicians that are out of office right now. This is perfect time for us to keep growing this thing. So when they're back, we're even bigger, and damn it, we're going to do this thing. So really appreciate you guys very much. You guys fucking rock. Have a great evening. And we'll catch you again on Wednesday, because we do this shit 3 times a week, because we ain't going to be quiet. No, sir. And once it's legal, even better, because then we're going to hang out together and do this shit. So All right, guys. Love y'all. Have a great evening. We'll catch you on Friday. Let's go.